Lord.
Welcome to
home.
Two Boys
Hi,
One
I'm at home.
Podcast. Rob's at home.
I'm Rob.
That's Rob.
Who are you, sir?
I'm listening to you talk.
Oh, okay. Do you have a name?
Lethal Weapon 1.
Lethal Weapon 1. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. I'm doing real well. I'm a little bit under the weather. I have a little bit of a cold. I've been on the road for a little bit.
I mean,
but
we're all under. If you step outside, you're under the weather. We're all under the weather.
What if I? Well, I think I'm under the weather because I was above the weather.
Because you were flying?
Yeah, I was flying. I know, right?
I think you're still under the weather. I mean, unless you're in space, I think you're still under it.
In it. I was in the weather.
Okay, I will accept that. Very good. You were in.
Good.
But did you mean to say that you're not feeling well?
Yeah, I'm not feeling great.
Good. You deserve it.
I know what I did. I'm not contesting the fact that I'm sick. I'm just pouting about being in this situation.
Well, wish I could say I was sorry, but I'm not.
I didn't expect you to be.
I'm just kidding. Are you going to be okay?
Spit on my grave.
Are you going to make it?
Spit on my grave.
You ever seen that movie, I Spit on Your Grave?
You've recommended it a couple times, but no, I have not seen it.
I don't know if I recommended it.
I think you did. You said you really liked the first one, if I recall.
You don't know what you're talking about. It's a pretty intense movie, I'll tell you that much.
Well, it seems like a heartwarming story of love and perseverance.
Yeah. Regular Harvey Weinstein story.
Yeah. Yep. That seems.
How about that
right.
guy, huh? Gee whiz. Creep.
No one should be shocked.
No, I don't suppose so. Didn't you tell me a story once about your brother not letting him do a movie at Sundance once? Or was it his brother?
No, it was. I think it was Harvey. I was not there,
Okay.
but if I'm telling the story right, my brother was. Every year he volunteers at the Sundance Film Festival, and there are specific rules for like late entry. Like you just can't do it because once the doors close, you just SOL.
Yep.
Regardless of who you are. And I can't remember what the movie was. I want to say, just clutching at titles, I want to say it was The Way, Way Back or something like that. And the movie had started, and this guy like is in Sam's face, and you can tell he's like not prepared for the day. I mean, it was an early morning showing. It snows out. He was clearly in like not necessarily pajamas, but had hastily gotten dressed, and is just screaming in my brother's face to let him in because he's going to buy the movie. And my brother doesn't know who. Like you could be anybody. You could be a lunatic, and he's just like, "I'm sorry, sir, you are not allowed in. The movie has started." And it doesn't matter whether you have a ticket or not. I mean, it's one of those frustrating things about it. It's not you can't walk in late.
It's just the way it is.
It's just the way. Those are the rules. And Sam didn't let him in.
It's the rules.
And after he like finally stormed off in a huff, somebody else there was like, "Do you know who that was?" And Sam was like, "No, what a dick." and you're like, "No, that was Harvey Weinstein." He's like, "Harvey who?" I mean, just completely like. And then, like later on, as he kept telling the story, people were like, "What the hell, man?" Like you just sloughed off, it's like brushed off the hammer, no problem. So.
It's a pretty good little story.
It is. It's a fun little segment. Yeah. So good for him.
Good for Sam. He let a very bad man not do a thing that was.
Yeah, I think
he should have known better.
I don't know for sure. I mean, because again, I don't have those notes in front of me. But I think he ended up buying the movie anyway.
And did he? Without seeing it?
I mean, there are more than one screening. I think he just waited.
Right,
but it was if it was The Way, Way Back, and that is a big if. I could be talking out of my ass here. That movie did at that time set the record for the all-time sale at Sundance. So I mean, again, I could be all wet, but I think that's the way the story went.
You could be all wet. What the hell does that mean?
I could be completely wrong, I think is what it actually translates to.
I've never heard that phrase used in that. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to start using it more then. I could be all wet. You're welcome.
Okay. I could be all wet.
Yeah. You could be. I don't know. I can't see you. You're not standing in front of the microwave.
That's true. I put that thing in a titanium box. You can't see me no more.
Yet. I'll figure it out.
You're working on
I'll
something.
figure it out. Oh yeah, I'm always working on something. If you haven't heard anything from me lately, it's not because I'm not doing anything. It's just because I'm tinkering by myself in the corner, which is dangerous.
You do like to tinker. You do like to stand in corners.
I like both those things. So the last time we casted, I kind of brushed it off at the time, but you have a story to share about being stuck in the mud.
Oh, well, I got stuck in the mud, guys. I got stuck in the mud.
Because you're all wet.
Yep, I'm all wet. I got stuck in the mud. Okay, so, I'm doing important government stuff, I'm a big, important
He's taking chainsaw lessons from Leatherface.
Yep, that's right. Anyways, I got into quite a predicament. I went down this road. It seemed fine, but then it was really, really steep and really, really muddy, and I wasn't going to be able to get back up there, so I had to just kind of tool around this area for a while, and then I ended up getting really stuck, and this is about 1 in the afternoon, so then I tried for a couple hours to get myself out using, digging and throwing rocks in there and what have you. And probably about 3, I called in for help. It took about 3 hours for someone to get there. Probably about 45 minutes to get unstuck, and then another 2 hours home. So I ended up being about a 14-hour day or so. I was stuck for 8 hours.
That sounds like a horrible day.
What are you going to do?
Well, I can't say it enough, but Sasquatches are worthless creatures. They couldn't even help get you unstuck there.
It's true. There were no trees, though, so I can't blame them.
No, the badger didn't help either.
Yeah, I was right in Badger, right around that area where I was taunting that badger. So I think
he's probably the one that wet the ground.
Well, he at least dug the hole.
Yeah, he got you back. Taunt me, will you?
Kermit bit me right in the bum.
Well, at least you got unstuck. It'd be terrible if the badger got the last laugh and ate your face off.
I really do feel like I could take a badger. I'd probably get real messed up. But I don't know.
Like without any sort of help of anything? Just with your bare hands?
Well, I could grab a rock or something and start.
They have like 20 claws that are built for tearing flesh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what they're designed. They're built for digging, you dingus.
Yeah, into your torso. Crazy. Man.
as long as he didn't get me on my back, I think. Even so, I don't know, like gouge his eyes out, and then he's probably gonna get scared and run away after that,
I don't think so. they can still they still have heightened senses compared to ours, especially their heightened sense to kill.
I think you're misunderstanding. I don't think they want to. They're gentle creatures, these badgers.
I don't know what children's book you're reading, but they are not a gentle
The Friendly
creature.
Badger by J.K.
Layman. By J.K. Layman.
Crobling.
No.
Yeah. You never read The Friendly Badger growing up?
I didn't. I read The Land of Barely There. Is The Friendly Badger actually a book?
It probably is, but...
It probably is.
I'm making that up. I know.
See, I think you should write it now about a forestry service member who befriends a badger.
Yeah.
You write the beginning, and I'll write the last page where he dies.
The forestry guy or the badger?
The forestry guy. The badger's going to eat into his body like Alien, reverse Alien. It's going to tunnel right in.
Forestry guy is going to prevail, but he'll die of his injuries later.
After the book ends.
Yep, after the book ends. So he crawls into the woods bleeding profusely.
It'll be one of those open-ended stories, except he died at the end.
Well,
there'll be 3 blank pages followed by a 4th blank page, and on the 5th page at the bottom in small print, he died.
This is an exclusive to our listeners. Only you guys will know where to look for this.
Yeah, it's on the 5th page.
Real small.
At the bottom right. Followed by not an ellipses, but a period. He died.
And he died. I think he'll be okay. He'll be okay.
He'll be okay.
Riddle me this. Zeke, did you or did you not have some car trouble yourself?
Yeah, so it seems like every time we do one of these, I've had more issues of one kind or another.
It's only been 2 weeks.
Different car, different trouble, and yes. So my brother and I went out to California to work on our magazine, and we had planned this.
California.
We had planned this Chinese fire drill exchange at the airport. Our parents were flying in from Spokane. They were running around the west coast, northwest coast with our sister, and they were flying back. So rather than leave a car at the airport, we were going to go pick them up,
right?
And then we were going to get out of the car, and they'd take our car back.
Yeah.
And in theory, that still worked out, but they got in earlier than they'd anticipated, and I had looked at the wrong time, so we left later than I'd thought. So we had 4 hours to kill. We went and had a bite to eat.
Sure.
And then on our way back, we had a green light, but a person had been given the wave of death. Which means that in the lane next to us, they had come out into the intersection to take a turn on a red light and had hesitated, and then in oncoming traffic, one of the lanes had waved them through without checking our lane, and we were 5 cars back, so we had no idea what was going on, and they waved them directly into us, and we just went bang, and
3 bangs,
and it kind of ripped the front end off of their car and did a number on the front end of mine. And then we were fortunate that about 45 minutes later, everybody was okay. But about 45 minutes later, the police reports were all filed. It was a busy intersection, so that made it complicated.
And this whole time you're waiting for trying to get to a plane.
This whole time we're trying to get to the airport so we can leave.
My gosh.
Yeah, so it was a stressful. But I think that's when I got sick because it was a little chilly outside and I was kind of pacing back and forth. So that's how that started, and. Yeah, so we're 2 podcasts, our two most recent podcasts, 2 cars down, and we're still sorting that one out. But it's going.
Was everyone okay?
Everyone was okay, and it was unfortunate. It wasn't our fault, but even the person whose fault it was, it's unfortunate for them because they were just trying to get through. The person who waved them through wasn't paying attention. It was just a series of unfortunate events.
What a schmuck.
And I would also take this opportunity to say, if you witness this type of situation, for God's sake, stay and report that you witnessed it. Because there were probably 50 people that saw it happen, and not one of them stayed. Like, it was a busy intersection, 10th and Cleveland, middle of Sioux Falls. Not one person stayed and said, hey, we'd like to share with the police officer what happened here. Not one. So for all of you out there, I hope you get your just rewards.
I'm all wet.
See? You're all wet. You don't even know what to do.
Here's I had a minor incident, too.
Tell me more.
I was on break. We were staying at the office this day, and then I went to town to get some coffee, and I locked my keys in my car, right?
Oh, no.
It's okay, but then this funny thing happens in Big Piney, Wyoming, where Verizon cell service and internet it'll just
stop working.
It's like somebody flips the switch, literally.
Awesome.
So when we didn't have cell phone service,
that's terrible.
Yeah.
How'd you get it open again?
There was a nice lady that had T-Mobile, and she let me borrow her phone, and I called my supervisor, and he, I guess he doesn't use Verizon. I never thought of that. Anyways, he went to my bunkhouse, and he got a key, brought it in.
Oh, nice. I thought you were going to say you used a coat hanger or...
I had a coat hanger, and we were trying it, and then a couple of friendly fellas said, hey, let us do this, and then they were trying. Anyways, ended up using the key.
So I don't know. I have not tried it myself, but I've heard that if you have a spare key and someone on the other end of the phone, it has a key fob on it with the unlock. I've heard that you can put your phone up to the door and it will work.
That sounds like
to unlock it through the phone, but I don't know for sure.
That sounds like an
old wives' tale before they had cell phones.
Isn't it Thrives Tale?
Yes, you're right.
It's an old Thrives Tale.
Yeah.
I'm all wet.
Don't just survive. Thrive.
Telltale.
On this tale.
An old thrice, too. I'm going to put that in the bank with my spring cake.
Yep. I think that's a good call.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear something?
Is it a bird?
Is it a plane?
No.
Oh my gosh, it's a Katina band. Zeke, 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 Leak. It's time for the next seg. Jesus. You didn't even let me sing my song.
Go ahead.
I don't want to anymore. That's the end of it.
Your song's done.
Is anyone... Where are you? What are they thinking right now? Is there anyone there?
Oh, no. That's why I record these by myself.
Still, there's got to be...
No, I don't think there's a living person within a mile of me right now. It's kind of nice.
Scary.
Yeah. Well, not anymore anyway.
I suppose you spooked all the bad things away, didn't you?
Yep.
Good. We watched a movie, didn't we?
Yes. Would you like to tell our listeners what movie we watched?
We watched a movie called Lethal Weapon, and I almost...
Hey, you got it right.
I know. I was just going to say, I've been calling it Die Hard for pretty much every time we talk. Yeah.
Even in the text today, you're like, hey, I just watched Die Hard.
I mean, I always knew it was the one with Mel Gibson and Danny Glover, but I don't know. You know, they're all the same, right?
Sure.
Same movie.
So I have the synopsis that I can read.
Yeah, good. Read that.
A veteran policeman, Murtaugh, is partnered with a younger suicidal officer, Riggs. They both have one thing in common, hating working in pairs. Now they must learn to work with one another to stop a gang of drug smugglers. I feel like there is a need for good synopsis to be written by someone. Maybe you can take that over.
You want me to write the good synopsis?
Yeah, write the good synopsis.
Synopsi?
Synopsi.
Oh,
Synopthesis.
That sounds like a Greek creature. Synopsi.
The synopsi is coming for you.
Cool.
Yeah, you're going to clean up all the bad, rundowns and plot summaries.
Yeah.
He's going to get you one way or another. He's going to find you. He's going to get you
one way or another.
So do you want to do a different plot summary than that? Because that was pretty terrible.
Here it goes. Movie opens up. This girl's her boobs are out, so I had to close my eyes. I can't watch that. She jumps out of a window. And then next thing you know, you're looking at Mel Gibson's butt. And I had to close my eyes again because I don't want to see that. Also, I'm a good little boy. And then he's a cop, and he meets another cop, and then they're investigating the boob girl, and they figured it all out. And Gary Busey is there. So
I think that's better, actually. Nice work.
Yeah. Thanks.
So you had never seen, is it just this one or all of the Lethal Weapons?
I was just about to say I saw the one where they're in a jet and it's got Justin Long, but that's a Die Hard movie, isn't it?
That is a Die Hard movie.
Yep. Okay. Nope. I haven't seen...
That's Die Hard 4.
Die Harder. Is that it?
Die Hardest, the Justin Long story.
Oh, boy. I can't wait to see that. This movie I liked.
Really? That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I like to talk some mad smack about action movies, but in general, I mean, I don't really have anything against them. It's just not my normal wheelhouse, you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. So this was the first... Go ahead.
Moment's over.
So this was the first script that was actually written by Shane Black.
Yeah, Shane Black. What else has he done? I forget.
So he did Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. He did
I like it.
Nice Guys. We've actually talked about him on the podcast before.
I kind of remember that.
Because he was supposed to make a film with John Carpenter called Shadow Company.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
In Lethal Weapon 1, the unit in Vietnam that Mel Gibson had been a part of was called Shadow Company. So that was kind of a homage to his previously unmade script. And still, I think it's still on the blacklist. It hasn't been made ever.
Huh.
But this was his first one. It was his, not just like first time with a big budget, not first independent. It was just his first script that was been made into a movie. This was it. So.
And he directed it as well?
No, this was Donner, Richard Donner. You know, our friend from
Goonies.
Spider-Man. Yeah.
And Goonies.
Yep, and Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
No, I'm just kidding. Superman. You know, we covered that whole long rant on Donner's Superman.
Superman 2.
Mm-hmm. We covered that. So this one was supposed to be a little bit darker than it was, but it was pretty dark to begin with.
Yeah, it was.
And it was it's a Christmas movie, so it's normally a part of my 12 days of Die Hard film. But at the end of it, the part that didn't make it into the movie, was they were going to have Murtaugh's character, because he's too old for this shit. He was going to rocket launcher a helicopter that was the old general that was flying away. And he was going to rocket launcher it, and it was going to explode over the Hollywood sign, and it was going to snow. Cocaine was going to snow down on them. At the
That's
end.
kind of cool.
Yeah, but as you saw, this movie didn't have any. There was no budget to this one. It was all done very small. You know, they just couldn't do it. Couldn't do it all. I'm just kidding. I don't know why they didn't do that.
I was going to say, that's pretty laying on that sarcasm, pretty thick, guy.
I don't know how else to do it.
I had a question there, and then...
Was it about cocaine raining down from the heavens?
Making it rain.
Making it rain! Cocaine!
The general... Make it rain cocaine. Oh, that's a fun phrase.
Yeah.
The general died in a car crash, yeah? Right?
He died in a car, but the grenade exploded him. He turned inside out, and he exploded.
That's right. It was like a reverse alien thing, what happened to him, wasn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. But the part that I wish there would have been a little bit more clarification on, it probably just got, so much of it gets lost from the script to the production and the editing. But evidently, through reading trivia on this, they had Gary Busey's character and Mel Gibson's character were supposed to have been aware of each other in Vietnam.
Okay.
And that's why the whole fight thing at the end was supposed to make sense.
Yeah, well.
But they were old rivals that were on the same team, but now we're on opposite sides of the law, kind of thing.
I see.
I don't know. So what do you say, Jack? Do you want a shot at the title?
Got a couple of points about this movie I'd like to bring up.
Please do.
So this Mel Gibson fellow, Riggs.
Yep.
He's the lethal weapon, right?
He himself, yes.
He was pretty good.
He was lethal.
But I feel like a gun is a lot more lethal, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I think he killed everybody in this with a gun. Yeah, so he's less lethal than his weapon of choice, I guess.
Yeah.
So in the if you own these movies, or if you want to see the extended, uncut, or the cut, I don't know what you call them.
Yeah.
The parts that didn't make the final cut, but they had like the scenes that they just kind of clump together and shove your way. Those are on the fourth Lethal Weapon 4. They're on that DVD, so you have to watch that in order to see them from the first movie. But in that one, there's like a school shooting of sorts.
Oh gosh. Okay.
And the sniper is up in a classroom, and the kids are cowering, and the cops are waiting for the SWAT team. And Mel just walks up the stairs and is screaming at him.
Yeah.
With his pistol, and he gets shot at, and because that's why people think he's crazy, is because he doesn't care if he gets shot.
Yeah.
Or is kind of daring the guy to kill him. And he puts a round through the rifle. I don't know what kind of rifle he was using. He shoots like 8 rounds at him and misses him. And then he reloads and comes and tries to shoot him again, and then Mel shoots him out of the window. So that's using his pistol.
His lethal weapon, yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of how it establishes his character. But instead, in the movie, they have him go up and handcuff himself to that guy. So, which is not a lethal weapon type of situation, but still, it's kind of fun.
And then he jumped off a thing, and then Danny Glover's like, "What are you crazy or something? I don't need this kind of thing. You want to die? Just do it. Here's a gun."
And then he sticks the gun in his mouth. Which, after reading, like that, there was a live round in that gun, because Mel thought it would help get him into character, which is terrifying that they would allow that to happen.
Yeah.
But it did. So, and I think that he grew his hair the way that he did. They had offered it to Kurt Russell.
Sure. No surprise there.
And he had turned it down, and then it was Mel's big break.
What the heck?
So, I mean, he was already kind of famous from Road Warrior, but this was huge. Yeah. So. So there you go.
Okay, are you ready for point 2?
Yeah.
Why is it set at Christmas? There's no point to that.
Well, I mean, why would it not be? And it's kind of at the end. At the end, they welcome him into the family. You know,
that would be okay. So that's like the only reason, the only time where Christmas is relevant in that whole movie is at the very end when they let him in. They're like, "Hey, you can't be alone on Christmas. See? I can't eat this horrible Christmas.
I'm too old for this turkey dinner.
I can't eat this terrible." They're always making fun of Murtaugh's wife's cooking. I can't eat this terrible turkey alone.
They bring it up 3 times. Like, my wife's cooking's pretty bad, isn't it? Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah. But I was gonna say, I mean, I don't know why. I think it made more sense for it to be at Christmas when, on paper, they were gonna blow up the helicopter and it was gonna be snowing in L.A.
Okay.
Even though it wasn't really snow, it was cocaine. You know,
I mean,
so
if that had been there, yeah. I mean, if that had been there, then I would have also added that to the being said at Christmas made sense category.
So it would have had 2 things rather than 1, had that happened.
I mean, they could have just been like, "Hey, man, you should. Hey, I can't let my partner walk away all sad and shit on any day. Come on in here and eat some food." You know.
I mean, it could have been Thanksgiving. It could have been.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I get it.
Arbitrary.
Yeah, I mean, it isn't specifically relevant to the story. I do wish that they had it snow cocaine, though, because that, like, it just doesn't snow out there, so it would have been kind of a fun, different thing for a LA film.
Never snows?
I mean, I can't say it. I'm sure it has, but it's got to be very rare. I was just there. It was 107 degrees. So
did it snow?
It did not. It did not snow. No, there was ash blowing around, but it wasn't. It wasn't snow.
I suppose so.
Fun fact, if I may interject again.
Yeah, of course. Jesus.
I have actually shot in that house, in Murtaugh's house.
What? Get out of town for Freeway Killer?
No, it was before I did anything. I went out to visit a friend out there, and he was shooting a commercial, and it was on Warner Ranch. And the fun thing about Warner Ranch, like, I wasn't hired to be a part of it. I just kind of got lumped in as a production assistant or the personal assistant, which was great because it's still the biggest commercial I've ever been around. But it was a Bryant Heating and Cooling commercial, and we shot there for 2 days.
Yeah.
And there were 100 people there. And the fun thing about Warner Ranch is it's just a cul-de-sac of houses that people don't live in. Like, it's a huge compound. And so I can't remember if we actually shot or if we set up in Murtaugh's house. But then next door to that, like immediately next door, and we either shot and set up in Murtaugh's house, and we either shot and set up in the Griswold house. They're right next to each other. So
really?
Yeah. So I can't remember which one we did which thing in, but it was kind of a fun. Like, I didn't even recognize it at the time, and then at the end of the first day, people were like, "Hey, it's kind of fun that they shot, Lethal Weapon and Christmas Vacation here." I was like, "Where? What you mean, like here?" And it's like he said, "No, like there, where you're standing. That's the living room." And I was like, "Oh, that's awesome." So it's kind of a fun.
You really think you're something, don't you?
If you could see me, I'm kind of brushing my hair back into the wind. Yeah.
Just shit-eating grin. Just.
Mm-hmm. No, I know. Like what they don't tell you when you're there is like Murtaugh, like Danny Glover actually lives in that house, and Chevy Chase actually lives in the other house. So we were just there, hanging out, eating, snacks off the concession table.
They took you out for a beer, I'm sure.
Oh, they just didn't take me out. They pulled one out of their fridge and cracked it open for me. Like, welcome home, buddy.
I'm so jealous of you.
Yeah, that's exactly how it went down. That's my life. Sunshine, rainbows, and hanging out with Chevy Chase and Danny Glover.
I guess you got to trade like excessive car bad things for cool experiences, like
cool, real experiences that really happened for all the car
at least
garbage.
the house part.
Oh, I mean that was actually a lot of fun. It was. I like I said, I wasn't hired specifically to do that commercial in any aspect, but just being around it. It was a lot of fun for me because I'd never done anything like it before. I'm sure it wasn't as fun for my friend who was actually in the ad. Like he had to work for 12 hours a day and then, be an adult and watch out for this 18-year-old idiot who doesn't know which way's up. So I'm sure it wasn't as fun for him. But
you've always been pretty mature, I think, even 18-year-old Zeke was.
Well, it was a fun, like I said, it was a fun thing, and I'm glad I was able to be there. But I wish that I had realized it ahead of time, and I don't know what I would have done otherwise, because I don't like you taking pictures around there. But it would have been more fun to kind of wander around and see how they did things, because they really shot it up in Lethal Weapon 1. They destroyed the whole front end of the house, so they did a bang-up job on construction, evidently. So.
Yeah, well, one time I went to. I saw where something happened once, and it was pretty cool.
Prove it.
I went to Mount Rushmore, and there's a house up there, and that's from North by Northwest or South by Southwest. I don't remember what it's called.
North by Northwest.
Yeah, there's a house up there, and I went swimming in the pool. It was really neat.
I wish that they had made National Treasure 2 better, because I've always wanted to apply for the cleaning on Mount Rushmore, and I just never gotten around to actually committing to do it. But they have a...
You're getting too old for that shit.
I'm getting too old for this shit. They actually have a museum in the back of Lincoln's Head, and there's a little walkway. And if you're cleaning up there, you're actually able to rappel down. Shut
up.
Yeah, no, I'm dead serious. But you're able to rappel down and see, how they maintain the faces and the cracks that happen on there. But then there's a little walkway, and there's a little tiny. There's a normal sized door, but there's a small museum that they had hoped to expand as they built it, but it got to the point where the risk was too high and they didn't want to end up with a Sphinx, so that's why they didn't use it. But
you're telling me Lincoln's Head and Mount Rushmore has got a little museum in it?
Yes, it does on the back of it. Not like on Richie Rich, where there's that's where rich people store all of their things. But there is it is a small museum that you would be able to walk around, and they just don't give tours in there because I don't know why. It seems like a missed opportunity.
I'm gonna have to look into this.
You do it.
And you're saying it's going to turn into the Sphinx because people are just going to be like, oh, I'm on Lincoln's Head, so I'm going to tear a piece off?
No, I think that they were worried. They had initially hoped to have it a bigger, used as a tourist part of the and they wanted it to be bigger, but they didn't want to continue building it after they'd started because they were worried that it would damage the faces if they kept digging in further. I guess I don't know.
If you dug out of the fucking from the back to the front and you poke the hole out.
Well, they use TNT still on those, don't they?
Yeah,
I think that's what they were worried about is still blasting it. Well, I think they do on Crazy Horse. I'm pretty sure they do. Anyway.
You would think they would use shaved charges or something a little more accurate than just.
You would. I don't know how they do it. I'm not a blaster, but I don't. I think they were worried about continue. Master Blaster. I'm not a Master Blaster.
Just walk away.
Just walk away. I got the black lung pop. Merman. But I think they were worried about the blast causing, or any type of blast causing, residual damage on the front, which I guess makes sense.
I know this guy. He's a good friend of mine. His name's Andy. And he one time he used just a little rock pick, and he tunneled a hole a really long ways.
Huh.
Yep.
Did he crawl in?
Yeah, he sure did.
So when I was a kid in Idaho...
He had to get in the pipes, and then he went through some poop pipes. And,
oh, no. Have you ever been in a sewer before?
Have I been in a sewer? I've crawled in culverts, but no, I don't believe I've been in a sewer.
I've been in a sewer.
What the hell did you do in a sewer?
Well, I used to work as a civil engineer in the summers, and in the north end of Sioux Falls, the old sewers are still brick.
Okay.
And we had, through redoing a road, we had damaged some of the clay pipes that led to the sewer.
Smooth move, excellent.
Right? And so I had to go down in there, and some of the bricks had fallen, and you could see it from the manhole covers. So I had to go down in there and collect the brick so that the flowway cleared out.
I don't believe anything you're saying today.
It seems that way.
It
certainly seems like it.
Jesus, what? Ugh. Yeah, you've been to Christmas Vacation House. You've been to Murtaugh's. Murtaugh's house.
Yep.
There's a hole in the back of Lincoln's Head on Mount Rushmore, and you like crawling around in the sewers.
I didn't say I liked it, but I said I
did. Did it smell?
Yes, it smelled like shit.
I wonder why.
Right? I don't know why either.
Were there any alligators?
Not that I saw, but
Ninja Turtles.
I looked for turtles.
Rat Kings.
I didn't see a Rat King. Worried about the Rat King. Was looking for turtles. I tried to order a pizza while I was down there, but I got the address wrong, and so he had more than 30 seconds. And I didn't see any alligators, but I was on the lookout for Mondo Gecko. Didn't see him either.
That's a bummer.
I know.
What other things are in the sewer? I got to ask you about.
Poop.
Chuds. Were there any chuds down there?
I did not see any chuds.
No chuds. Okay.
I have yet to. I downloaded that film on my Kindle, but I haven't watched it yet.
It's fun.
I guess I didn't download the first one. I downloaded the second one.
Oh, because I told you it had dancing zombies.
Yeah. So I ordered that at the same time I ordered Dead and Breakfast, and I watched Dead and Breakfast, but I haven't watched Chud 2. I liked Dead and Breakfast.
Yeah, it's good.
I thought it was fun. I was a little. I'm not gonna lie. I was disappointed that there was a dancing zombie scene. We weren't as smart as I thought we were, but it was still, it was fun.
Everybody, Zeke wrote and directed a film which I
started.
Yeah. Shut up, you sewer crawling. Anyways, and there was a dance scene with zombies and vampires, and Zeke was under the false impression until quite recently. It's been about a year now that it was the only choreographed zombie dance in a film. But we have since found 2 previous examples,
both of which happened before ours did. We filmed ours in
before
11, 12, something
would
like that.
Would have been 9, I think 9.
9? Yeah. So I mean, when I heard you were talking about when you first brought it up, I was like, well, I mean, this is recent. No big deal.
10. We
did ours first. Maybe they saw our movie. No, these were like well before
in the 80s.
Yeah. Like, but not just before our film, before we were cognizant. Yeah. So, shame on me.
I mean, you're one of 3 that we're aware of. So.
Yeah, that we're aware of so far. And yet both of those are features. Ours is just a short. About a 23-minute short.
Chud 2 is pretty bad, just so you know.
Yeah, I mean, ours is pretty bad. A lot of things went bad on ours. So
that's a story for another day.
Yep.
And my point 3, he doesn't talk about being too old for this shit enough, Well,
I mean, in all 4 of them, it gets to be a lot, but in the first one, it starts
just the one time. Just the one time.
Well, I think it caught on as a phrase. I don't know that it started there, but it was kind of what spread it. And after that, he does say it more.
I suppose he's all the time he's saying it. Huh?
I think it's the only phrase they let him say from there on.
What do you think?
For this shit.
What do you think, Murtaugh? Get too old for this shit.
I will say that he turns 50 at the beginning of the movie, and it's a little weird that his wife brings in the cake with her children.
Yeah,
he's in the bathtub.
In the bathtub, naked, presumably naked.
I assume he's not wearing
I had
bathing
my eyes
suit.
closed. I had my eyes, so I don't know.
I mean, there's not a lot of bubbles in there, so you can you can definitely see what's going on. So
if his dangle was out.
It doesn't bother me. Like, of course, his wife has seen that, but it seems weird that his children are small. It's just weird. And it's a weird thing.
Was his oldest daughter there too? I don't remember.
I think so. I mean, she
weird.
she has a crush on Riggs the whole time.
She's gotta be
so.
like 16.
Yeah, I mean
something.
that's weird. Little weird.
'Twas a bit weird.
Yeah. Do you remember who we followed to that movie? Do you know who she was in Lethal Weapon?
No, who was it?
Dixie. When the kids are outside, you're gonna bust Dixie. You're gonna bust Dixie. That was Dixie. She was. You didn't see her at the house there, but you saw. I mean, you saw her carcass, but you only see her after the naked woman jumps out of the building.
Gotcha.
And she's the one who's pretending to be in the wrong place when she was actually there, getting her hopped up on coke and then
cocaine.
Yeah.
So that's how, listeners, we got from Zombie Chicks, Chopper Chicks, and Zombie Town to Lethal Weapon.
Yeah. And her name's Lycia Naff is her name. Yeah, interesting connection.
Lycia Naff. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm ready to rate this thing.
Do it.
I paid $3.99. iTunes used to let you do standard definition for $1 cheaper, but now it's just $3.99 for standard or high definition.
That's stupid. Go with Amazon. It's always cheaper to do standard.
Okay, I will do Amazon. So I paid $3.99, and I happily would. Yeah, it's worth that for sure. Well,
so I owned it already. In fact, I think I own 2 copies of it because I bought it as a single copy, and then to get the second and third one, I bought the triple pack. So I have 2 copies of it. So let's say that I spent $7 total on both those.
Yeah.
I would say that I would pay $6. I would have paid $6 to own it again. Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably do like $3.50 or something. It's solid. It's good.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. Like I said, I watch it every year as part of my 12 Days of Die Hard. It's just kind of a fun thing, and it's fun to see Mel early. You know, he's not quite as polished as he is in Braveheart yet. Yeah. So it was enjoyable to see it from that aspect, and it's also I really enjoy Shane Black's writing, so it was good for that too.
It's good. They're not all set at Christmas, are they?
No, as far as Lethal Weapon goes, this is the only one that's set at Christmas.
So wait, do you watch the other 3 though for your little Christmas?
So like I said, Christmas action movies are hard to come by. So what I do, Die Hard 1 and 2 are both Christmas movies. Then Lethal Weapon 1 is a Christmas movie. Then I go to Reindeer Games. Then I go to Batman 2, Batman Returns. And then I just kind of fill in. And then I just kind of fill in. I might this year if you are here to watch it with me. I mean, of course, I watch Home Alones, but that's not part of my 12 Days of Die Hard. It's limited strictly to action. So then I fill in with Lethal Weapons and Die Hards and then Casino Royale or Skyfall until I hit 12. So there. So did you have in mind a few possible connections? I just assumed we were going to just watch Lethal Weapon 2 because you liked the first one so much.
I did, but no, I know. I'm afraid you shan't be that lucky, my friend.
Lethal Weapon 3?
We're going from 1 to 4.
Oh, perfect. I got 4 loaded already.
Is there only 4?
There is only 4. They talked about doing more until they got too old. No, now it's a TV show on Fox.
Well, yeah, I know that. So, they could still do a movie, but it'd be like, oh, now it's my son or my protege that I trained up. You know.
Now I'm old for this shit.
Yeah. Hey, I ain't too old for this shit. And then eat some pie.
Yeah. Be kind of like Red. I mean, I liked Red. I could get behind that.
Yeah, that's good. I didn't see the second one, but I liked the first one.
So the second one, Shane Black actually walked off of.
Oh, really?
Because he had intended to kill Riggs' character. Oh. And the studio disagreed because they were sitting on kind of a golden goose. And
cash hog.
Yeah. So that didn't work out in the end. But, yeah. Okay. 2 is a solid movie.
What about 3 and 4?
They bring in Joe Pesci's character as kind of a...
Yeah, Joe Pesci.
Yeah. And then in 4, they add Chris Rock. So I actually like...
Really?
I like all of them, but I think that 1 is certainly the strongest.
It's usually the case.
Yeah.
We're not watching 1, so sorry.
No, you're not.
I'm so sorry.
All right. Read them and
okay. I got Are you ready to choose your death?
Choose my death! Yeah.
Sound like a game show host.
I was trying.
Oh, okay, you nailed it.
Crushed it.
So
Making it cocaine rain.
Cocaine rain, ladies and gentlemen. Holy cow. Okay, we've talked about it, and I can't remember. I'm pretty sure you've not seen this movie. And if you have not, we're watching it. You don't really get a choice. And then the backup, you don't get a choice either. So get ready to watch a movie that I picked. Okay?
Can't wait.
Okay. Have you
Point
seen
me towards danger, Azim. I'm ready.
Have you seen the Royal Tenenbaums?
I have not.
Okay, that's the movie.
What was my fallback?
It was called Oblivion 2. I don't know. Then it had a funny sub.
I was really hoping you were going to pick the Hear No Evil, See No Evil.
With Pryor and...
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. Ew.
Nah.
Ew. Ew.
Ew.
All right, Royal Tenenbaums. Who are we following?
Daniel Glover.
Danny Glover.
Daniel
All right.
Glover.
All right.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Not horror category.
Prove it.
I can... Okay, here's a line. Let's shag ass. That's a line from the movie. That proves that I like it.
All right. I will. I've always it's always been around. I just haven't ever sat down to watch it.
Yeah,
Like,
that's why I figured it's a
lot of those films. So.
And you're gonna have so many people you can choose from. Angelica Houston, Bill Murray,
Never heard of him.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Who?
Gwen's Paltrow. My mom's Paltrow.
Oh, good. Well, then I'm glad it's picking up. No, I'm really glad you liked.
Tickled me.
I'm really glad you liked Lethal Weapon. That's fun.
Yeah, man, I dig it. Definitely down for more action movies if you Zeke Hansen can find a way to link it.
I'm sure I will.
Okay.
Yay!
Hey, you're off the hook. I didn't write any silly game.
Well, I'll look forward to next time anyway.
Good. Okay. I think this is it.
All right, and as always, if you have any questions or complaints, send them to the corner of Afton and Afton.
At
555-443. Screw you.
Screw you. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Bye.
The portions of today's broadcast that you actually enjoyed are brought to you in whole by...
Cash is hard to come by.
It sure is!
Now with Don and Moe's Stab and Grab, you just take what you want and don't pay for a thing.
Are we sure this is a good idea?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. We're practically losing the farm.
Actually, by my math, we probably will, if we don't end up dead first.
Don't miss out on this opportunity to turn our road experience upside down. Right, Mo? Mo?
Oh, that guy just stabbed me and took my coffee.
You'll be okay.
I don't think so. He twisted.
That is the first sign of a good stab. But we're off to a great start. It means we've got a tiger by the tail.
I feel cold.
Our shelves are stocked, our gas tank's full. Stop in today before our sale ends. That's Don and Moe's Stab and Grab. I'm Don.
I'm Mo, and this was a horrible idea.